Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Calmsden Farm with me, CWATTY. All my grapes are harvested, ladies and gents. It is October the 1st today in game. The grape harvest has been completed. All my grapes are now in the grape factory. I finished the grape harvesting. However, we now have olives to harvest today. So our olive harvest can commence. We've also got the soybean harvest to do, but I'm going to leave that. I think I'm going to leave that. Let's have a look. Soybeans. Yeah, we've got 2 months to harvest those. Got time. What I'm going to focus on instead is getting my getting the olives harvested as we move towards the end of this save, which will end once we've harvested everything. It's been fun, the Calmsden series. And obviously I'll continue playing this map for quite a long time in multiplayer. But for now, we will just continue. Just need to move that. Oops. Yeah. Hopefully that's the right distance for the olives. Definitely Calmsden has definitely been one of my favourite maps play in FS22 so far. Admittedly, I've not played a lot of maps in FS22, and the reason for that is I really haven't seen that many maps that have kind of interested and appealed to me. And I guess because I've gone more for the long play format for Let's Play series, where I'm doing, you know, one map and doing multiple seasons, multiple years on the map. I'm not changing my maps as frequently as I did in FS19, means I'm not looking for maps as frequently as I was in FS19. And because I've been burnt, I'll admit I've been burnt on a few maps that I've downloaded and looked at this time round. I'm kind of avoiding third-party sites, so I'm not downloading any maps that are on third-party sites unless they are, you know, from a well-known and accredited mod author. I'm only getting maps that are on the mod hub. This time round for FS22, I'm not supporting any third-party websites with clicks and downloads in this year's game. So it kind of does limit me a little bit when it comes to what maps I'm playing, what maps I'm gonna play going forward. There's something not right with the spacing on this. That's not worked out right, has it? Does it need to be 3 meters? I think it possibly needs to be 3 meters. And we probably just need to pick that a touch. I've got a horrible feeling though that this olive harvest has got even less capacity than my grape harvester. So there's no way I'm going to get to the bottom of the field to empty. Yeah, I'm going to get full very, very quickly with the game, with this. Should have increased the capacity on this harvester before I started playing. Like I did, I in the end, with my grape harvester, I actually went in and modified it. I increased the capacity so I could harvest 2 rows of my grapes before I had to empty, because having to empty on every row was time consuming beyond belief. So I definitely increased the capacity on the grape harvester. I should have done it on the olive harvester too. But I have been thinking, obviously, about what I'm going to do as my next map after Calmsden. I've spoken, I think I've spoke a couple of videos ago that I was thinking about Stone Valley. Maybe now that that's had an update and is now apparently fixed and all working fine. So yeah, definitely considering that one. And I'll probably go back to, like I say, playing without precision farming on my next series, but still keeping seasons to keep it different from the Riverview map that I'm doing. But I don't really want to start. I don't really want to start my next Let's Play until the next game update comes out, which should be before the next DLC comes out in a couple of weeks' time, at the end of the month. Obviously, I'm recording in advance, and these you'll be watching these videos. You'll be seeing it'll be September when you're watching this video. That's how far I'm kind of in advance, and I can't put grapes into that trailer. So by the time you see this video, the update will be out, the DLC will be out, and I'll probably then be playing my new map and recording my new map, and probably I've got a few videos recorded, a few videos uploaded. That does depend though on the update and whether it causes any more issues with the game, because I'll be honest, over the last few weeks, and playing the game as much as I do, some of the bugs that have been widely reported and have been present for quite a while now, that have so far been unfixed, have kind of soured my experience, soured my playing a farm sim. And it's like this. I mean, there's another thing as well that's come to my attention in the last few days or weeks, that once I noticed it, I now can't unnotice it. Right now, I'm obviously in third-person external camera view. And okay, it's only 8 AM in the morning, it's a cloudy day, but, you know, things are all reasonably bright and colourful, and, you know, you can see what's going on. The minute I switched in cab, the whole game gets a heck of a lot darker and gloomier. And I don't know why, because it's not like there's no tinting on the windows of the vehicles. The vehicles don't come with any like window tints. And I've checked this with vanilla vehicles as well as modded vehicles. I don't know why the in-cab view is so dark and gloomy and miserable compared to the external view. Because one of the things I was thinking of doing as well, as a slight difference to differentiate my next series from the ones I've currently done, was to possibly do it with my wheel, using my steering wheel as my controller, rather than my controller, to play it with my actual wheel and pedals, and to play a lot more in first person. I was going to do a lot more first person stuff. But now the fact that when I go into vehicles, it's so dark and gloomy everywhere in cab, I don't think I could play like that. I don't think I could play with dark and gloomy. And like I say, I've had several people comment on this. I had a bit of a discussion in multiplayer about it the other evening as well. That it looks so bad that outside of vehicles, the world looks bright, colourful. You know, it is what it is. Obviously, it's October at the moment in my game, which means it's in July when we was playing on the server. Lovely summer, sun was shining, everything, you know, fantastic. Until you went in cab, and then it was like, this is horrible. It looks like the middle of winter. It was dark, it was depressing, and it was like, yeah, I don't think I could play like that. You know. So I don't know why that is, whether that's something Giants need to address. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me that every vehicle would have that kind of, I mean, I could understand it if you had tinted or blacked out windows, like you can get on some mods, for that effect to be in place. But for vehicles without that, I don't see why why there would be two different types of lighting in the game. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So yeah, as obviously I've got a lot of videos recorded and scheduled at the minute on the channel. I didn't record any farm sim content last week in real life. Didn't play the game last week in real life. Because again, I'm just a little bit sour on the game at the minute. Compared to FS19, we're coming up on 1 year. FS20, we're coming up on the 1 year release of FS22, and in the same time frame, I was a lot more passionate and motivated and stuff to play FS19. For some reason, FS22, I'm kind of, it just hasn't quite grabbed me in the same way. I'm not quite as enthusiastic about it at the moment as I should be, as I would hope to have been. So last week was one of those weeks where I played different games. I played lots of things on my Steam library. I played some American Truck Sim, got back into playing a bit of that. I played quite a bit of Dinkum, started doing a little mini series on the channel for that, where I'm using some mods that have become available for the game, just to be a little bit different. Started playing Spider-Man when that came out on Friday. Today, as I'm recording this video, Way of the Hunter comes out, which I'm going to be playing, because I haven't played a hunting game since I stopped playing Call of the Wild, because those devs are asshats who don't support modding and ban players who do mod the game and provide mods for the community and free content to the community. So Call of the Wild died to me the day the devs started handing out bans, especially as it's a single player game with no multiplayer element, no competitive multiplayer element, and there's no reason to ban players for modding a single player game. Again, I did quite a lengthy video on that on the channel. You could go back and watch that if you want to search it out. So yeah, Way of the Hunter I'm looking forward to playing. And getting a bit of time with. I'm hoping it's going to be out early enough today that once I finish recording a few of these here farm sim videos, I will be able to download it, install it, and start recording a few videos on that. Because what I may do, and this is just me theorizing and speculating, is that I might reduce the amount of content I'm putting on the channel that's farm sim. At the moment I release 6 farm sim videos a week. I might reduce that down to 4. If I'm doing obviously 2 Let's Play series, that'll be 2 episodes of each series a week. And then that will give me 3 days a week where I can upload different things. And just, for me, give myself a little bit of variety and allow me to step away from farm sim for a few days. Because like I say, playing this game every single day, I'm definitely not at this present moment as happy and enjoying it as much as I was FS19 at the same point. You know, I pretty much was excited about FS19 for its whole entire lifespan. I played FS19 right up until FS22 came out. And even after FS22 came out, I still played FS19 a little bit, because obviously we was finishing off the server. And that was obviously quite important to do. So yeah, I played FS19 for 3 years and I loved every second of it. Really did enjoy it. For whatever reason, for a combination of reasons, FS22 has got a little bit stale for me. I'm certainly not as invigorated by it, shall we say. And I know I was talking online, chatting to people on the Giants forums about things, and one of the things I think this year that's in this game, particularly this game, that's kind of maybe affected that is the fact that the DLC options and choices that Giants have gone with, for me, have been not that great. I haven't really felt amazed by any of the DLC content that they've added to the game. I don't feel it offers me, with my play style and the way I like to play farm sim, it doesn't really offer me anything. Sure, okay, I've used a few of the Antonio Carrero tractor things on this map, but I didn't need to, because there are small tractors that in the vanilla game that I could use. So it's not like they've offered me anything that's new, that wasn't in the game, that I wasn't able to do without the DLC. And you know, then then what did we get? See, this is how bad it is, ladies and gentlemen. I can't even remember what DLC has come out. Oh, we got the, was it the Kubota DLC? I know a lot of people for a long time have been asking for the Kubota brand in Farm Sim, and it's great that we now have it. And, you know, we've got some Kubota equipment. Again, for me, the one thing I find is that the tractors are a little bit on the small side. 200 horsepower is I think the maximum of the most powerful Kubota tractor, and as a result of that, it's not something that I find myself particularly I think I could see me using, you know. I think I've discussed this at length before, But yeah, and then we've got obviously the Vermeer DLC coming out, which is like the baling DLC to do with balers and baling. And again, as I talked a few videos ago, I have no issue with balers and like different types of balers being added to the game, and some different self-propelled balers, which are nice. But the problem I'm going to have with them is the fact that Giants do this really stupid narrow pickup width on the balers, which means that you don't actually pick up swaths. When you do, you've got your windrowers and you make nice, you go to the length of the trouble of windrowing fields to make nice swaths, pick up, to make life easy for yourself. The very narrow pickups on the balers and loading wagons means that oftentimes you end up with little strips where it hasn't quite, it's not quite wide enough. The swaths are wider than the balers, basically, is what I'm saying. The swaths in the game are wider than the balers. And therefore, you end up driving at least twice on every single road, which to me kind of defeats the point of such a thing, such a tool, such a device. And then obviously in November we're going to get the logging DLC, and again I'm not really that interested in logging. Never have been in Farm Sim as a rule, as a whole. I think the most logging I did was in FS19 on the No Man's Land, in my No Man's Land series, where I actually did plant trees and harvest them myself. Planted my own trees and would harvest them when they grew to make money, because logs were good value. Trees were good value in that game. But again, with the weird physics in this game, I've never been a particularly big fan of trying to pick things up from the ground. I don't do a lot of manual handling. I do a lot of auto load. You will have noticed in my bales, pallets, because I've always found the physics in Farm Sim to be a little bit janky. And as a ex-forklift driver myself, it does kind of frustrate me a little bit trying to do, you know, manual handling in this game. I mean, even in first person, in cab, the lack of any kind of like real depth perception like you would get in a real vehicle makes it very hard to pick things up. And I just find it there, because obviously I'm trying to look around to see where like my forks are or where my grapple is or whatever, and you're not getting that reaction from the game. If you had VR, it probably would be fantastic. That would be one element of the game that would benefit from being in VR, is when you're in cab doing any kind of picking up, moving around of objects and stuff. That's when it would really benefit. And the map as well, because it's a logging heavy map that Giants are adding to the game. It's probably not going to be great for farming, so probably not going to play it. So yeah, I think the DLC has been a little bit lackluster, and that's not really excited me and motivated me as much as FS19. But you know, I still love the game. I still put a lot of hours into playing this game. Don't get me wrong. I still love Farm Sim. I do love Farm Sim, the series, you know. It's been absolutely fantastic for me. It's helped me in my life immensely. It's helped me overcome a lot of issues with my health and stuff like that. And, you know, it has been good for my sanity, despite some of the recent weeks and months with the bugs. But, you know, it has helped me with my mental health playing this game. And obviously it's been good for me professionally, you know, as a content creator. my channel has really bloomed and blossomed because I've been playing Farm Sim. And because of the Farm Sim content and that I've put out. And I thank everybody who watches that content each and every day, each and every week, each and every month, and continues to like every video and leave me comments on the videos and share the videos and obviously subscribe to the channel. You know, that's not going to change. It's just that at the moment, for me, trying to do 6 Farm Sim videos a week's tough when I'm not really as excited by the game as I, you know, was a year ago, for example, or 6 months ago. Maybe that'll change. Like I say, if Giants come out with a good update in a week's time or 2 weeks' time, whenever the update comes out, and they fix a lot of the things that kind of niggle me and annoy me, you never know, it might just allow me to play the game, you know, without getting aggravated. You know, if I could play the game without getting aggravated, that might go some way to making me enjoy it better. You know. But I was thinking about, like they say, the next map I do after this one. And one of the things I was thinking, based on obviously the last couple of videos that I've done, with this whole grapes and olives situation, is that I would like maybe on my next map to start with grapes and olives in place. That might mean me doing a bit of preparation work before I start recording to actually set up grape and olive areas on whatever map I choose to play. I would definitely like to do a bit more grape and olive stuff from the outset, from the beginning of the series. I always feel like we get to this stuff too late. It was the same in when I did How Baylor on, when I did my How Baylor on save. I got to this stuff. I got to the grapes and that very late in that series. By that time, you know, we was many episodes into that series before I started doing the grapes. And I think it would be nice to start a series with that, having that available. Because we've all done the regular harvesting. Everybody, you know, starts out doing, you know, the wheat, the barley, oats, soybeans, sorghum, etc, etc, etc. It would be nice to maybe start out a little bit different next time round with some of these new crops and doing some of the things I haven't done before. Maybe doing some cotton, doing some sugar cane, you know, things I haven't really done in my other series that I've been doing. You're pressing the wrong button. I want to harvest. So yeah, I might do that. That might help. Being able to do all the different crops from the, you know, having areas on the map where I've already got grapes, olives, etc. prepared would be very good, I think. I think that would be better. We can start doing this stuff then from day one and looking after these lovely crops. So yeah, I'd be keen to think about that. Like I say, I've got to identify what map I'm going to play next, though. That's the thing. What map am I actually going to play next? And I need to make some choices fairly soon, because like I say, we are very close to the end of this series. I mean, I said I was going to go to episode 100 but depends on obviously how long the harvesting takes. Like I say, I've spent today harvesting olives. One whole episode devoted to olives, and I've still got quite a few rows to go before the olives are finished. Two-thirds full. We're done with this machine being a little, like I say, we're just done with this machine having another third capacity, really. A bit on the tiny side. I think I've got to mulch. I don't think I've mulched the olives. I could be wrong. Needs to be ploughed, as do the grapes. But that grass is looking quite long. I wonder if I should mulch that. Does that need to be mulched before I plough? Hard to say, really. Again, because I have so little experience with the grapes and olives, because I always get to them at the end of the series, and I've never really figured out the mechanics. Oh yeah, definitely my next Let's Play, my next series, my next map, I'm starting with grapes and olives plugged in, built into the map from day one, so I can have a bit of a play around with this stuff. I mean, I saw a mod come out the other day for an olive picker, an olive mod, an olive picker. But I don't think it works with these trees. I think it works with, like, placeable trees and that. And I ought to download that and have a look at that mod. And then there was another one with grapes, but again, they're replaceable. They're a bit like a factory. They work as a factory. The grapes do. It's a production. It's not something you harvest. They grow in, like, similar to like a greenhouse, I suppose, would be the best way to put it. I have a funny feeling I've missed a row there, ladies and gentlemen. I think I've missed a row of olives. Just based purely on that stripe on the map, I think I've missed a row. They're ready for harvest. Run around my machine. That's been harvested. That row has not been harvested. Okie dokie. Yes, I have missed a row, ladies and gents. So, we will back up. Make sure we do that run. Right, another thing I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is take a screenshot for the thumbnail. Because we've reached that time, sadly, where it is the end of the episode. So I thank everybody once again for listening to me waffle as I've been doing a little bit of farming. I'm sorry I haven't put the Spotify little background music, YouTube music in this video. I forgot to open the app before I started playing, and I didn't want to tab out of the game because I sometimes still have little issues where I can't tab back in once I tab out. So it's very rare I tab out of Farm Sim when I play. But I'll try to remember to get the Spotify, YouTube little background music. I know it's very generic elevator type music, and it's, you know, a little bit, does get a little bit, maybe a little bit repetitive, but hey, it just offers something in the moments of silence when I stop speaking, to maybe just entertain people. It's not very loud, you know, it's obviously keep it very quiet in the background, and yeah. So I'm going to thank everybody for watching the video, as I always do. I'm going to tell you all to take care of yourselves and stay safe. I will see you in the next video very soon, but for now, from me, CWATTYESO, cheerio and goodbye.